Well, Keefe D. He is still in jail.
Yes.
The trial got pushed back to February 2026. He tried to get the case thrown out, and the judge rejected it.
He's going to beat it.
Think he's going to beat it?
He's going to beat that.
Really?
They haven't taken him to trial yet. With all these years, they're supposed to have evidence, and they don't have nothing, and they pushed it back. When they push it back, they don't have nothing. What else is more to get?
Well, here's what's interesting. And me and Reggie Wright went through this in our last interview.
Okay.
In the process of trying to get his case thrown out, he submitted the actual paperwork where he cooperated. Not with the whole Greg Kading thing where he talked about all the audio and everything. That happened like in the early 2000s. Pac got killed in 96. He provided his own paperwork. We cooperated in 1998 and 1999. And we went through that paperwork. In that paperwork, he accused Reggie Wright of killing Tupac. He accused Suge Knight of killing Biggie. Accused Diddy of killing Tupac. Who else? Mob James got thrown under the bus. Reggie Wright Sr. was accused of killing people and everything else like that. He blamed Reggie Wright Jr. For running a drug operation that Suge Knight was running until he went to jail. Like, he basically told on everybody.
Wow.
Now, none of it stuck, but it's interesting. I really felt like the reason why Keefe D even entered the media was to try to somehow explain away the whole cooperation thing in the Tupac murder. And now, when it's all settled, now he's released all the paperwork of all the cooperation that he's done. So whatever plan he had in the beginning, and now he's in jail facing murder, like whatever plan he had in the beginning definitely backfired.
I tell people all the time, the people on the street that are always arguing the most, he a snitch, is usually the motherfucker that's a snitch.
I never talk about snitches.
I never talk about
I don't care.
Yeah.
Honestly, you could be a snitch around me. I don't care.
I don't care.
There's nothing to snitch over.
Yes. I don't even want to be involved.
Right.
I want to be so far away from that life. I want to be so far away from even thinking what people are doing. I just want to live peacefully. But I told you all of us know each other, And when I talk to the guys and the old heads, let's call it the old heads.
Yeah.
They don't understand why the young kids and old heads with Keefe come on your shows and other shows. So they don't mind them coming on these shows if they talking about something constructive. But to come on these shows and talk about what you've done, who you hurt, who you robbed, what drugs you've done, X, Y, and Z, is got to be some of the most asinine shit we have ever seen in our life.
I mean,
look, it ain't that much being a celebrity.
Yeah.
I was watching something without saying the person's name, watching the interview a couple days ago, and everybody just sitting on the couches talking street shit. Not thinking that the fucking local police, feds, are not putting pieces together.
I mean, yeah, listen, you told me before the interview that you don't want to talk about it, so we're not going to, really go into it.
Yes.
But, right now there's the whole RICO case with Big U.
Yes.
Brick Baby, who's a regular on my show. Me and Big U have always been cool ever since he's been on my show. Loose Cannon, another guy who I don't personally know, but he's on my man Adam 22 show all the time.
Yes.
Like, we talked about this. We had this very interesting podcast that happened last week.
Okay.
Because I did an interview with Adam 22 on No Jumper, and right after my interview, he had an interview with Whack 100 and Trap Lord Ross. Mm-hmm. But then he was like, "Yo, DJ Academics is coming through as well." And this other dude, Remo, who's a podcaster. So all of us were all in the same room together. So this is basically like a majority of the big players in independent hip hop media.
Yes.
So we were all talking about this whole situation. And it's like, if you really take a step back, like, LA has really been the epicenter for gangsters doing podcasts, talking about gangster shit.
Yes.
and bringing out specific stories and everything else like that, only to have this whole situation implode and everyone now catches RICOs.
Yes.
And throughout the paperwork is references to no jumper interviews and stuff like that.
Yeah, see?
Like all throughout.
Right. And this is not the first time you mentioned this.
Yeah.
You've been saying this for years. And people watch your show. And they still go on these shows and tell all they fucking business.
Well, and in the paperwork, they reference certain interviews where people actually confirm certain crimes on camera. This wasn't done on Vlad TV, by the way. It wasn't. I'm not involved in any of this stuff.
Yes.
Because I've always been careful with people.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's like, I'm not going to have you, talk about, crimes with no statute of limitations or things you're actively doing. Now, the Keefe D thing was an exception because he wrote a book.
Yes.
And he wanted to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But in general, I stay out of these situations.
Yes.
But you now see how everything finally just came to a head where law enforcement said, okay, I guess we'll just, we'll pay attention to all this. And I don't know. Listen, I hope a lot of these guys go free at the end of the day. Like I said, me and Big U have a good relationship.
Yes.
Brick Baby, I just seen him a couple days before he got arrested.
Yes.
I randomly ran into him at the Beverly Center.
I wish them all the best. I just want you young guys, if you don't know nothing else in life, learn to shut the fuck up. I don't know what else to say.